If your credit score is lower than you'd like, there may be ways to bring it up. Depending on what's holding it down, you may be able to tack on as many as 100 points relatively quickly. There are a lot of tips and tricks on how to improve your credit score. In this video, we'll break down how you could add up to 100 points with tips like paying cards more than once a month and fixing credit report errors. What is a bad credit score? On the FICO score 8 scale of 300 to 850, one of the credit scores lenders most frequently use, a bad credit score is one below 670. More specifically, a score between 580 and 669 is considered fair, and one between 300 and 579 is poor. How your credit score is calculated. There are 3 national credit bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, that calculate your credit score, and your score can differ depending on the agency, as they may have different information about your credit history. There are 5 major components to your credit score. Each of them is weighted differently. Payment history. The most important component of your credit score is your payment history. Do you pay your bills on time? Do you have a history of late payments? If so, how late? Have you ever been turned over to collections? You can expect that late payments will deduct points from your score. Amounts owed. What's your overall debt load? If you've taken on too much debt, then your score could suffer. Length of credit history. How long is your record when it comes to managing credit? If you're brand new to the scene, then lenders will view you as a risky borrower when compared against someone who's been paying off debt for decades. New credit. If you've just taken out a bunch of new loans and/or opened credit card accounts recently, your score is going to take a hit. Types of credit. A healthy mix of debt, a mortgage, a credit card, and a car loan, is viewed a little more favorably than debt consisting entirely of credit cards. However, you don't want to open a new credit account just to have balance. Instead, focus on the other components of your score. Now we're going to share some of the fastest ways to increase your credit score. Step 1. Clean up your credit report. Before you do anything else, request a credit report from each of the 3 big nationwide credit reporting companies: Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. By law, you're entitled to one free report every 12 months. When you request it, be ready to print it or save it to your computer. Once you have the report, examine everything. In particular, look for any accounts that show late payments or unpaid bills. If that information is inaccurate, the report should tell you where to send a dispute. Keeping a clean credit report isn't only important for your credit score. It can also affect your job prospects. Some employers pull credit reports before making hiring decisions. You may also want to sign up for a free account with Credit Sesame, which will give you an idea of how your reports are shaping your credit scores. You'll also get to see your Vantage score from TransUnion, one of the 3 big credit reporting companies. Step 2. Pay down your balance. According to FICO, the company that calculates one of the most widely used credit scores, 30% of your FICO score is based on the amount you owe. However, it's not simply how much you owe that's important. It's how much you owe compared with how much credit you have, a ratio known as your credit utilization rate. For example, if you have a $10,000 credit limit and a $5,000 balance, your credit utilization is 50%. If you've maxed out the $10,000 limit, your utilization is 100%. There are many theories on the ideal credit utilization rate, but experience suggests it's best to have a rate of less than 30%. In other words, you should never have more than $3,000 charged at any time if you have a $10,000 limit. If your credit utilization rate is high, paying down your balances is a quick way to lower that rate and thus boost your score. Step 3. Pay twice a month. You might think you're doing great because you pay off your card every month, even if it's maxed out. The problem is that your creditors are only reporting balances to the credit reporting companies once a month. If you run up a big balance each month, it could look like you're overusing your credit. For example, assume you have a credit card with a $1,000 limit. It's a rewards card, so you use it for everything. In fact, every month, you hit your limit. The statement arrives, you owe $1,000 and you paid off. But depending on what point in the month the credit card company reports your statement balance, it might look like you have a $1,000 limit and a $1,000 balance every month. That's a 100% credit utilization rate. You can help alleviate the problem by breaking up your credit card payments. Go ahead and charge everything to get the rewards, but send in payments at least twice a month to keep your running balance lower. In addition, if you make a large purchase on your card and have the cash handy, pay it off immediately. Step 4. Increase your credit limit. Maybe you're not in a position to pay down your balances. You could take a different approach to improve your credit utilization rate. Call your creditor and ask for a credit limit increase. If you've maxed out your $1,000 card and get a limit increase to $2,000, you've instantly cut your credit utilization rate in half. The key is to not spend any of your new credit. It defeats the purpose of getting a limit increase if you immediately charge the card up to $2,000. Step 5. Open a new account. If your current credit card issuer balks at the idea of increasing your credit limit, apply for a card from a different issuer. It will still help your credit utilization rate, since your utilization rate is based on all your open lines of credit and balances. So, an individual with $10,000 in credit who owes $5,000 will have a 50% credit utilization rate regardless of whether that $5,000 is on one card or spread across multiple cards. Be aware, though, that opening multiple accounts at once is not good either. Having too many new accounts can make you look like you desperately want to go on a spending spree. Don't risk dinging your credit score by applying for more than one new card if you're going to try this strategy. Step 6. Negotiate outstanding balances. Maybe your credit score took a dive because you have bills and debt collections. You can't wipe out past mistakes from your credit report, but you can do some damage control by settling them. Step 7. Become an authorized user. Finally, if none of the above suggestions helps you, don't despair. There is one final option, and that is to be added as an authorized user on someone else's credit card account. Now, for this to work, you'll need to find someone who loves you very much and who manages his or her money very well. Once you find this very special person who is going to do you a huge favor, explain you have no intention of using the credit card. You just want to be added to their account as a way to build credit. You see, when you're an authorized user, the account will show up on your credit report. Then, your credit report will reflect the primary cardholder's on-time payments and, hopefully great, credit utilization rate. As a result, your credit score gets a boost, too. While these strategies can raise your credit score fast, keep in mind that fast is a relative term. You won't see results overnight. Give it 3 months or so for the changes to begin affecting your score positively. If you're starting from a higher score, you likely don't need a full 100 points to make a big difference in the credit products you can get. Simply continuing to polish your credit can make life easier, giving you a better chance of qualifying for the best terms on loans or credit cards.